listen over. You a queen when I less than I'm a gozy. Owamie, Owamie. Owamie, Owamie. Owamie, Owamie. Owamie, Owamie. Girl, you're such a powerful woman.
Hi ninjas, how are you doing? It's your girl Owamie, aka Miss Fear for coloring back for our entertainment. If it's the first time joining me, most definitely welcome. Please do make sure that I subscribe and obviously hit the bell. I absolutely love you. Now my ninjas, this is part 5 and finally where I've been wanting us to actually get to. If you've not watched part 1, part 2, part 3 and part 4, I feel like this is not going to make as much sense, you know, in context. But yeah, this is the nightmare and the abuse that we have been facing within the legal system, within the maintenance courts. It has just been really heartbreaking, guys. It has really just been heartbreaking. So I'm going to go ahead and just start off from the day that we actually start going to court. So I think this was in April of 2022. We approached the court and obviously we filed for maintenance. We'd asked for 6,000 rands. We were told to go serve. We served the first time, my father did not come. We served the second time, my father does not come. And then the judge actually awards us, like he gives us, a default judgment of 6,000 rands. So within that month, we get a call that says, hey, your father is here in court. So if you guys are available, please come. So obviously at that point, guys, we're very excited. We're like, oh my gosh, like finally, he has come. I'm sure there's going to be a solution that actually, comes through. And I was really excited about it, man. I won't even lie to you guys. I was really excited about it because I was like, at least we're going to finally just close this chapter, When we get there, my father is there with one of his cousin's daughter. And his cousin's daughter, guys, used to work there in that Pretoria court. So there are some people there, from what I understand, that she knows from the time she was working there. She did get dismissed because of some things that personally happened. But anyway, that was that, right? Sharp. When we get there, the first day, the thing that I can remember is that there was this other vendor man, and I'm gonna just tell you guys to my best abilities. He is tall, he is dark. Don't, like, if you get there to Pretoria and it's him, his vendor, I would advise don't maybe ask for a different one, a maintenance officer. Maybe ask for a different one. That's the only thing that I can say. But anyway, we get there and this guy, the first 2 times that we were there, like, he was talking to us like just normal, it's okay. And honestly, at that point, I just really had so much faith in the system that I believed that everything is going to be done according to the law. I was like, finally, for years we've been abused by my father. For years we've been abused in the presence of the family. And the other thing, again, that I forgot to share with you guys is that the time that, he was now talking about how my sister should go back home, blah, blah, blah. I actually took it within myself to say, let me call his closest friends, because I knew that I was not going to get any help from my uncles. I mean, if one called me basically trying to scold me into assisting my father to take his child to school, do you really think he's someone that I can call to say, please talk to my father to take his kids to school? No. So I did get phone numbers of 3 of his closest friends. Yes. I called the first one. I explained the thing that was happening, that please talk to him so that he can take his child to school, And I can't remember if he came back to me or not. But what I can say with all 3 of them is that they were all very much surprised of the stuff that I was saying to them, because I think they were under the impression that, he's taking the children to school, which is the one that they go 2 days in a month, where how much was he paying? I think it was 500 a month, or something like that. Like, but does it really help the future of the kids? No, But anyway, well, let me say, not that I know of, and I will explain to you guys. So, okay, Shabu, After that, I had spoken to all his friends. I remember the friend that actually came back to me, he said, your father said you can go wherever you want to go. Like towards that line. And it wasn't the first time, Moss, because remember, like, you can do whatever you want to do. He had told that to my aunt like years ago when my aunt was just asking, can you please just help with money for a jersey. But anyway, now obviously I was like, let's go to the law. Finally the courts are gonna be able to assist us. First of all, it wasn't an easy thing. It took everything in me, guys, to actually have to sit down and say, you know what? Finally, I'm gonna just approach the court so that my mother's children can have some sort of future, guys, and I can also get a relief, because at this point, literally, I'm tired. So we were granted the 6,000 already. So when we got there, this guy, as I'm saying, wasn't foreign to us. So we get there. He says we should get into this room. We enter his office, and it was the four of us. It's my sister, it's me, it's my father, and then him. Okay, when we get there, he asked my sister to greet my father, and I think my father does greet her back. And then he asked me to greet my father, which I greeted my father, and my father kept quiet, and I was quiet, like, listen, I'm not even here for your greets. I'm only here so that you can support your kids. That's all. Okay. So this guy, actually before then, I think my father says something towards the lines of like, my sister is like of age, that she's over the age of 18, so she can be here by herself. But then that guy was like, yeah, your sister is not under 18, so you have to go out. So he's talking about me. I'm like, okay, that is fine. First of all, guys, I was really, really nervous, of the fact that even the time that we had to go back to Venda, like when we had to go back to my father's house, my sisters were really excited. This is the part that really breaks my heart, with the fact that my sisters have not gotten the heart to remove themselves from my father. And as a sister, it's not my responsibility, because at the end of the day, that is their father. So if they still want a relationship with him, I'm not going to stand in the way of that. I'm not going to make them feel like, if they still want a relationship with my father, then they can't have a relationship with me. 1,000% not. I think they are also growing. They will also get to a point where they see this old man for who he is. They will see the side that I've also seen, that there is absolutely no reason for reconciliation, because he will always be who he is. I doubt he will ever change at his age. So, I feel like they will also get to that level where they'll be able to let go. That's just me. So I get out, and the whole meeting was taking long. So they go in first, and then after that, I think the guy had to go out, the maintenance officer, and then my sister then talks to me. So I was like, I'm so curious of what your father is going to say. Can you please just record? That's what I said. I wanted to hear what he's going to say, because he's a very smooth talker. My father is a smooth talker, I'm telling you, So I was like, I was just really interested on what he's going to say, because remember, he's coming whilst we already have a judgment of 6,000 rands from the judge. Sharp. So because they were taking long, and I can't remember, I think Ryan was actually visiting at that time. I can't remember well, but I think he was. So I decided that I was going to go to the car, because it was cold, so I wanted to be in the car, and I wanted to just have it warm for the baby and stuff, if I remember well. Because we've been there, guys, so many times. Obviously, there are times where Ray has been there, so I might be mixing. But if I'm not mistaken, I think he was. So my baby sister now comes out. When I see her walk out, she's walking out. That thing of someone walking out as if they are like running almost and crying. And I'm like, wait a minute, what happened? And then she says that the maintenance officer forced her to sign that from 6,000 rands, she has to get 500 rands. It was 500, ne? From 6,000 rands, she has to get 500 rands. The maintenance officer told her that your father does not have money. And, if you don't sign this now, you are not going to get any money. You won't get anything. So it's better you sign this for 500. The audio is there. If I'm not mistaken, if that phone is there, guys, it's there. This was in 2022. Now, Mina, immediately I hear of that, I'm like, definitely something. You cannot be a maintenance officer that your job is here to represent the orphans and the children that do not have parents. If you are here at maintenance with your father or your mother, it means you guys don't have that relationship. So this person, it means they are not supporting you. So you're as good as an orphan. If you have another parent, it means it's a parent that is unable to fend for you. You understand? You're as good as an orphan. How can your job is here to represent. You're supposed to be the one that actually makes sure that this person that has approached the court, who usually is a child, is supposed to go out there and get supported. This guy says that my sister should get 500. And I'm like, but what is 500 going to do? When she asked about accommodation, the same guy told her, Uri, you can go and stay with your sister. Ogaman, am I her mother? Am I her father? How am I supposed to be responsible for her? And first of all, remember, this is the same person that kicked me out of the office. So he knew that I was there. Why couldn't he call me back to say, hey, come back? Tell us, like, can you afford to stay with her? What if now I stay with a man? What if where I'm staying, it's a man that is paying for the place and he says, if you're staying with someone, I can no longer continue paying because I don't want this place to be with someone else. You don't know my life. You don't know how I live. You don't know who I am. So why would you remove me from the office and then make decisions for me? I immediately ran and I went to a maintenance officer that is female. Immediately I explained to her, I'm like, I need to see the judge. And the lady was like, this is nonsense. There is absolutely no way. What happened here? You know? And then after that, I see him. Like literally, guys, I was just so disappointed because I'm like, bro, we've been coming here. You've been acting like you are a decent man. Kanti, you're not, you know? He then says, I'm talking to him. I'm like, listen, let's go back to the judge that signed this because this can't happen. This guy was literally walking out and he said, now I've knocked off. That's what he said to me. I was like, okay, that is fine. I went to the maintenance officer that was a female. That lady, Shem, bless her heart, she immediately ran to the judge. The judge saw the 500 rands. She just scrapped it and said, here's another serve notice that you have to take to vendor. Now, mind you guys, we had already been given the default judgment of 6,000 rands, right? Which my father never paid 1 rand from that because the judge ordered him. So it means for the next appearance that we go, he was supposed to pay the 6,000 rands because the judge had ordered that, but he never paid a cent. So now we had to I now have to spend more money because remember guys, I have to be going to vendor with her, coming back, so that she can be able to go to school. So if it's a matter of we have to serve him today, she has to go to class today. After school, I have to drive to vendor. Then we can sleep in vendor and come back tomorrow morning. Or so that at least even if she's missing, she can miss 1 day. It's better than missing 2 or more days, right? Sharp. We have to go back to vendor again. We serve my father yet again. I cannot remember if he came after he got served or we had to serve him again for him to come. I cannot remember. I don't know if he came after that, you know. But then anyway, when he comes, the first day that he actually came, if I remember well, I'm sorry guys, it was in August. That was the first day that we actually saw him in court in terms of like we're going to see a judge. The judge did allow us actually enter, so she allowed me, and she also allowed the daughter's cousin who he has been going with, right? And it's my sister and also the judge, the 5 of us. Guys, my father does not care whether it's a judge or not. He was switching languages and threatening my baby sister in Venda because that judge cannot understand Venda. I remember the judge asked my father to say that, hey, you know, why are you not taking your kids to school? And I remember that lady, guys, her heart was very painful because she asked her if all this stuff the kids are saying are under their stepmother's name. So you mean to tell me that if anything happens to you, you don't even care about securing your children's future, you know? And then she asked, where is the money? Because you are a pensioner, which means you worked. And we told her that no, he was a principal, he worked for years. But you know, he didn't support the kids. Like, you know, we explained the whole story of how he kicked us out. We were homeless, basically. You know, we were taken in for almost 5 years and everything. And I remember, guys, my father telling the judge, Uri, his pension fund money was chowed by his side chick. To use the exact word he said by his concubine. Then the judge then asked, Uri, okay, the stuff that the kids are saying are under your wife. And then he said that she's not my wife. My stepmother, guys, is married by my father. That's what I know. One thing I can say 1,000,000,000 times %. I can even say this under any podium. She uses my father's surname. So, and on legal documents, her surname is Nechpajwa. So I don't know if maybe you can be able to just go and change your surname, not being married to someone. I do not know. But I just remember we were in that office with the judge for over 3 hours, if I'm not mistaken. And I remember that judge, ever since that day, she never ever wanted to touch our case. But I remember she said a lot to my father, like in terms of, these kids are here, they don't have a mother, you're their only parent, and my father is lying like nobody's business. I think, I had already made peace with the fact that I don't want like any relationship with him, but I still had a bit of respect for him, just. But after that meeting with the judge, I remember I just lost all respect for him, honestly, because I was like, you cannot be an honest man and this is the reaction that you actually do. And you cannot be this old and still lie on things that can literally be proven. So the judge asked us to say we should write down all the stuff that we are saying. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, because this is a tell all that I want everyone out there to know about my family and my father and the abuse me and my mother's kids have been facing. So unless if I've forgotten some stuff, but there are properties, guys. There's obviously my father's house. There is the complex that is in Gaba that has got a ShopRite, that has got a Pep. It has got so many shops there, a lot of shops there. There is a house in Twendo. There's another one in Manini. There is 2 properties in Messina that are rentals. There is another property which is a business in there, man. Chamuchedzi. He also has a lodge that is still being built there in Chamuchedzi. Like, this is the 10th property. He also has other stands, but obviously with those, recently from what I hear, he has also bought another house and stuff. So I will say that the ones that I know at that time, 10. So he has over 10 properties, I can say. And when I'm saying him, I'm talking about properties that I know he has bought. I know the one in Manini, apparently still under the guy. They had a deal, which it was a car, whatever. But to tell you that it's his, he has even extended there. I don't believe you can extend in someone's property unless you guys have got a full agreement and stuff like that, So the legality of some properties, yes, they're not under his name, but we know to be his properties. Even like the one in Chamchedzi, the complex in Gaba is under my stepmother's name. And then there are other stuff that, but all this stuff I'm saying here, we know them to be my father's stuff. Okay, sharp. So we then had to mention the cars. At that time, there was a Mercedes, this Ranger, and there was a Toyota Hilux, a single cab. There was also the Toyota CR, I think something. There was also what was the other car that was there? But I think it was like 5 or 6. There's also a Quantum. There's also other. So there are cars there, And then there's also I can't remember the stuff right now, guys, because my mind is running. But there's a lot. Like, this is not a poor man. Oh, he also gets my mother's pension, obviously, which I think they say it's a spousal support or something like that. And then I don't know if he actually gets grant, but so I think it's there, the grant or something like that. But this is somebody that is not living hand to mouth. He's not. From what I know, if he is, then it means it's just misuse of funds, because there's a lot of money that is being made there. So we basically, notified the judge, and the judge asked us to write all this stuff, which we did. And he was denying, guys, like, no, that's a lie. I don't have this stuff. No, she's not my wife. We are not married. Hey, this and that. He was saying a lot of stuff. And I think for me, part of the reason why I felt I lost respect for my father was that in front of a judge, he acknowledged his side chick, who he claimed to be a concubine, but he literally refused his wife. Like, you acknowledge your side chick, but you literally, like, disown your wife because he's saying he's not married. The judge, I think, would even asked, when did you guys start being together or something like that, or when did you marry or something? And he said a year, and she said, if it was before this year, then you guys are married in community of property. That's all she said, which means that if we are looking for maintenance, we do have a right to can actually, if the stuff are under our stepmother's name, we do have a right to can go to court, approach the court and say, our stepmother should actually come and be the one to support my sister, you understand? Now, I know that there are some of you guys that are like, no, but your stepmother is also questionable. Guys, you don't know who my father is. I think we're at this point, I'm just so tired, I'm not scared. So why would I be protecting her? You don't know who my father is. That's all I will say. And I'm not going to say anything pertaining the other side because I just don't want to get involved there. But what I'm saying is that, do I blame my stepmother? 1,000% no. I have no fights with my stepmother. I'm going to just say it publicly right now. My fight is with my father for him to support his kids, sharp. So that obviously happens. The day that we left with the judge, there was no solution because, again, my father kept lying, right? Sharp. When we went back, guys, we have been going to that court for over 2 years, almost every second month. So if we come here, and sometimes it was like almost every month. So that judge was the one that actually said, okay, how much did you spend to come here today? And I think my father said 3,000 rands. And then she said, okay, because if this is how it's going to go, then we could have the court, you coming here every month, and you would be spending that 3,000. So it means from now on, you have to send my sister 3,000. Again, as I'm saying, it was August, definitely. You have to be sending my sister 3,000 rands every month so that we can go and investigate all this stuff that have been happening, like the stuff that your kids are saying you have. The investigative officers have to go and check if obviously they are there. You understand? Sharp. My father did not send 3,000 even a single month. My father decided that instead of the 3,000 that the judge gave, he's going to send 2,000 rands. And then he claimed that the 1,000 he was paying to school. Do as you wish. At this point, we felt like it was some sort of win because even though she's getting 2,000, 2,000 is better than 0, guys, that we've been getting, sharp. I was just surprised when I got a call from my sister saying that she was kicked out of school. And, she was saying that she was kicked out of school. I think it was November or December. It was November or December. It was November, I think. That, there were outstanding fees, which those fees, if I remember well, it was about 4,000 rands, because I would do this thing wherein I would wait until they're like, okay, now she's going to get kicked out, and then I will pay. Like, maybe I'll pay 5,000, and then I'll pay however much. I have to still hustle that money, guys, because remember, I am not employed. My sister then tells me that, they're kicking her out. And I remember she was out of class for like a week. I had to obviously put monies together. This was the year 2022. I had now started also with my salon, the renovations and everything. So financially, I was starting to get strained, and I had to get that money, and I had to pay to make sure that she goes back to school. And after that, obviously, that was when we actually went back to court. When we went back to court, they postponed again. They said no, they're still investigating. So I will not be very much precise on like the timeline. I'm going to tell you guys what happened because this has been a lot of stuff that were happening, right? But we did mention that he was not paying 3,000 that the judge said. He was paying 2,000. But as I said, he said he was paying 1,000 to the school. He claimed that no. So we said, okay, that's fine. But she was kicked out, right? He should then bring proof. There was no proof that he was actually bringing forth. So, okay. It happens that we now get a call. We kept on going, guys. We got a call from the investigative officers, and they were basically saying that the stuff that you guys have written here, there are a lot. And again, it's in the village, guys. So the addresses are very much sketchy in terms of, you can say, okay, Gaba next to who's house. And when you say Gaba next to who's house and they don't know who's house, so it means that, it's just a goose chase. And I remember they actually asked, like, is it possible for us to can come and show them? It will go quicker. Now, obviously, at this point, I, guys, did not even have money, but I had to pour petrol. I even had to hire a driver because the night before I had been working so much, and we got a call late. I think it was around past 10 or past 11, past 10 maybe, or 9 to 10 at night. And I think it was then they were realizing that this is going to take us days because how are we going to get all these places, So I hired a guy. Actually, not even to say, well, I would say I hired, but he's my driver. I didn't even have to pay him, Shem, because it was the time that we were waiting for his Uber status to get upgraded. I asked him how much he would charge, and he said he won't charge anything. And then after that, we then went. So we went to Venda, went to the village, we showed them everything. We went to Tando, we showed them the properties there. We went to we even went as far as Messina, guys. And then from Messina, that was when we drove back. So we drove like today, we slept in Venda, and then the following day, that was when we actually came back, right? So we had showed them everything. When it came to the cars, it was an easy thing. They just had to trace them. Everything that we said, every single thing that we said was the truth. So that was the first thing. My father was now caught in a lie. I was like, okay, I know lying to a judge, that is an offense. That is a criminal offense. And I know that they can actually give warrant of arrest, for you to get arrested. But did that happen with my father? No. My father was not arrested, right? Sharp. Because that is committing perjury, right? There were times that he would not come and claim that he is sick. But I remember there was this at that time. If they want proof, they can go to Kruger National Park. He went to Kruger National Park with his friends the day he was supposed to come to court. And then we had to come to court and we had to be given another date. But let me tell you guys something. My father has missed so many court dates. He has never ever been asked or he should bring proof of the reason why he wasn't come. He did not come. If he was sick, he has never been asked to bring any sick note. He has nothing. He has never been asked for anything like to prove. If he did not come, we are just given the next date and then it continues as normal. You understand? Sharp. We then go on to, the judge would actually give, my father like an order. He will be ordered to say you paid this much. He won't pay. Is there any warrant of arrest that is released for my father because he's defining what the judge is saying? No. I do remember, as I'm saying, guys, there are many times, I think you guys have seen, how many times have we been going to court? Sometimes I've just not even been talking to you guys about it because it has just been so exhausting. I do remember, though, after that whole situation happened with that vendor guy, the maintenance officer who, I pray that, I just really, if you are dealing with that guy, prayers to you, Kelala, But I remember that I actually did go to the court manager in Pretoria. And I went there and I explained the story. How does it happen that a maintenance officer is going to decrease a judgment from 6,000 rands to 500 rands? And I remember the manager's eyes going like this, like she was like, hey, And I explained the whole story to her. And I remember the court manager actually asking about the situation and saying, well, why didn't she go to a school where there's NSFAS, because if he doesn't want to, maybe, and I was so disappointed, guys, because I'm like, if you are like literally the manager here, I would expect that your whole thing is not, if he doesn't want to support, maybe you should not force him. Your whole thing should be all people that don't want to support kids they brought to earth should be brought to justice and booked. But I remember they called the guy, he came. When he came, guys, the rage that I had, I remember just going face to face with this guy. Like, I don't even know, but I was so angry to a point where I had rage, not anger. It was literal rage. I was telling him crap in front of even the manager because at that point, guys, I had been crying. It was just too much for me. And I think what the part that I've not really emphasized on here is the emotional aspect of this whole thing. We have been abused for years by my father in front of our family and his family, right? Now we're getting abused by our father in front of the law in the court. Even now, if someone can go to that guy and ask him, how did you reduce an order of 6,000 rands to 500 rands? You cannot say anything. I remember him saying, no, you guys should just go. Why can't your sister just go and go to school in Venda? And he said, now my kids are in Venda. I said, you're not as rich as her father. You should not compare your kids to his kids because he's a rich man. Which school in Venda is he talking about? Yo, guys, I was just so pissed. I think at that point, I was just saying whatever it is that I was just so angered, But anyway, We have been going to court, guys. When we get there, it will be one postponement after another. And when we say postponement, you can think, oh, we'll arrive there maybe at 8:30, or we'll arrive there at 9 a.m. And by 10 a.m. we're out, or by 11 a.m. we are out. No, you will sit in court. You will leave that place at 3. They will have told you, no, we have to come back. So the postponements that I can actually remember, obviously there was the postponement of they have to go and check if my father has all this stuff, which the investigative officers went and they got everything. They wrote a full proper everything. They got everything that we spoke about, and they actually put a stamp on it to say yes. But anyway, I do remember I got distracted, I'm sorry. But there are so many times, guys, that like they had to postpone. The times that I can also remember, was that the investigative officers, they wrote a full report of everything that they got, that everything we said is the truth, right? Sharp. They wrote everything, they put in a file. We appear in court after the investigation is done. Guess what, guys? When we get there, our file is missing. Our whole file. The judge, I don't know which judge, because we keep changing judges. And remember, I'm not allowed to go in there. So I'm just here to support my sister, who, my father is able to take advantage of the fact that she's younger. And she has more respect, because personally with me, if we're talking, we're just talking. The day that we were in that court with the judge, he said to me that when I die, you're not going to get anything. And I remember looking at him and I said, look at me, do you think I want anything from you? I asked him a question, And I remember him actually saying, at the end of the day, I am your father. And I said, you're not my father. Like, he has not acted like one for years. Why should I be? You understand what I'm saying? And of course, I'm going to refer to him as my father because biologically he is. But I just don't want to be insultive. There is a proper word that I think defines who he is. But anyway, we're not there. So I at that point, guys, like when they said that the file is missing, I just felt like, my goodness, like what is this? What is this? It means the trip that we just wasted. I spent over 7,000 that time because I'm going to Venda, from Venda going to Messina, from Messina now coming back here. My car is very heavy on fuel. And because we were trying to cover time, we were actually, driving. So it was really just crazy. It was really honestly just crazy. And then that was when there was a judgment that came. Again, my father did not adhere to that. Like, he wasn't paying. The tender that we have been going through, all of a sudden when we go back again, our file has now been found. Apparently it was a forgetting of mind of where the file was or something like that. And then after that, now the case had to now continue, because when you give a judge a blank file, she doesn't know, she doesn't have any notes to kind of compare what is going on. That was when the judge actually said, no, she's reinstating the 2,000 that he was supposed to be paying anyway. And then after that, did my father continue paying that? Yeah, so basically the day that our file went missing, right, the judge then said my father should stop paying the money because there's nothing on file. I don't know if it's a matter of even the investigative officer never explained anything, but I just remember coming back, guys, and we were devastated, and my sister was just crying heavily. And then when obviously the investigative officer called, and then, now our file reappears, that is when the judge is like, no, like with everything here, the money has to be reinstated, and then my father has to pay 2,000 rands. So in there was another, I don't know if he's an investigative officer or not, but he seemed to be siding with my father on claims of my sister's older. Hey, why do they want the money or something like that? And I think we're there because my sister came to me and she was so upset and she was saying, no, I think this man spoke of 800 rands, that my sister should be getting like 800 rands even if she gets money or blah, blah, blah. And then after that, the judge reinstated the 2,000. Now, mind you guys, the money is supposed to be paying is 6,000, but the 2,000 that he's paying is under the terms of, okay, you can be paying the 1,000 to the school, right? Which there were still amounts that were outstanding. And then he has been given orders to say, go there and pay, bring back proof of payment. That never happened. It was not followed through. And there was no punishment basically for what he has been doing, defying the judge and everything. But then after the judge signed, my father should give my sister 2,000 rands. He chose he's going to pay 800 rands. So when he sent 800 rands, the following day, we went back to court. When we went to court, we then went there, explained the situation. And there was this other lady that works there, and she was like, no, but this has been wrong. Like, all this up and down that is happening here, no, we can't do that. And then she asked, like, do you know a place where your father gets money? Remember, my father is retired. His property that we know brings in a lot of money, which is that complex, is under our stepmother. So those monies are not under my father. Do you understand? So we did say that we know that he gets money from our mother's estate, and so they basically made a garnish. The garnish that was made is just a little over 38,000 rands, and that was just a calculation of from the beginning of 2023. Right? Not the monies that I've been spending since 2022. So this was just 2023, and then the garnish was about just a little over 38,000 rands. So and then they said the amount is supposed to be, a certain amount that we're supposed to get. Sharp. We take that garnish order and then we take it to the pension fund department in Joburg. So from Pretoria, it had to. Okay. We take it to the pension fund department in Pretoria. So from Pretoria, it had to now go to Venda, which it did. But we stayed, guys, because that garnish, I think, was given out last year in November, if I'm not mistaken. So we stayed December, money didn't come. January, February, March. March, I think. Oh, yeah, March this year. Is it March or April this year? Somewhere there. That was when I was like, something is definitely wrong here, because we need to go and find out why is the garnish not being implemented. So I think it was May. Yeah, my sister's saying I think it's May. So we went there in May. And when we get there, guys, they say that our garnish that the court in Pretoria sent has been rejected. So we are asking, okay, what is the reason? They say that the amount that was written that we should get is the amount that my father is getting. Now, please tell me if the pension fund department in Tando called us to tell us that the garnish has been rejected. No. We are sitting here thinking they still need to process. Did they call the magistrate court in Pretoria that gave the garnish? No, they didn't. If they called, then the person just kept that information. Because I asked, how do you guys sit with such information? Why don't you take feedback to the same court that gave you guys the garnish? Or you should actually call the people to say, guys, it has been rejected because of this, so that we can go back to court and then rectify the whole issue. Or the judge can motivate to say, we know he has got other sources of income, so this is the reason why we're saying they should get this amount here, or something. They do not do that. At this point, we've said over 5 months, my sister's not getting money. My father will send 800 whenever he feels like it, if I'm not mistaken. But remember, the court order is saying 2,000 rands. They know this in court. In Pretoria court, they know this. Have they ever given him warrant of arrest for defying the judge? No. Please tell me why my father will not stop lying in that court. If no punishment comes with his lying even to the judge, he has no respect, obviously, in my personal opinion. I feel like he does not respect his family. That's why everyone feels like they also can't tell him anything. But I did not expect that disrespect to also further down go into like the courts. Because now, guys, the other thing again, one of the reasons why I even had to go to Venda to find out about the Garnish. The time that I went to Cape Town and I came back, you guys remember, I was sick. I had flu. If you go back to my videos of that time, you can remember like my I was not okay. And so obviously that flu also went on to my sister and she was also not okay. So I remember the day that we were supposed to go to, I just come back to Cape Town and unfortunately we couldn't go. We did call though to say that, she won't be able to make it. She's not feeling okay. Okay, sharp. Now, mind you guys, we've been going to court for over 2 years. We've never missed a single day. My father has missed multiple days and nothing has ever been asked of him. So he went there and then after that, we obviously had called to say that we're not going to be there. We thought that the court was going to call us and give us a date, which they didn't. And so when my sister went there to find out, like, okay, can we please get the date? They said that, no, you guys are not serious about... Oh, yeah. When my sister went there to get the next date, they gave us a date, but basically they said it's a new date. So my father was not given a date. We still had to drive to Venda to serve my father again. I was really just so confused, like, okay, we have to spend more money to go to Venda to serve my father. But when my father does not come, a date is just released. Yet when he comes, a date cannot just be released for us so that we can get then we're told, okay, sorry, you're supposed to come on this date. You understand? We swallow that, we drive to Venda, obviously, we serve my father. And that's when we get the information that the garnish was unsuccessful or it has been rejected. Sharp. The date that my father is supposed to come, he does not come. We were able to go, but we arrived there a bit late. And when I say a bit late, we arrived there just after 11, after 10, past 10 to 11, I think. And I remember that day, guys, I was really just so disappointed because I was like, I'm not understanding how does this system work. Because the day my sister went to get the date, she went by herself, right? So I went to the maintenance officer's manager and I was like, I just need to understand how come, when my father does not come, nothing is ever done. Like, this is just getting exhausting at this point. You guys will just give us a letter to say, go serve him. But he's never, And then yet with us, they were saying that my sister has to present proof that she was sick. If not, then, you guys will listen and hear what the next things come. And I remember, guys, at that point, if someone saw me that day, they would think I'm a crazy woman because I was just so exhausted, guys. I was really honestly just so exhausted. I'm trying to find out, like, okay, what is going on? And besides that, guys, I think it was in January, the time that they found out everything and now the file was found. They said that, okay, the best thing here to do is to subpoena our stepmother. So our stepmother has to come to court and tell the courts, are the staff really hers and is she married to my father? You understand? Which that subpoena came out, the subpoena was never served to my stepmother. Another process where the court is failing us because she was supposed to have already been subpoenaed, So now when we went there that day, they said, no, you guys unfortunately were late. So there's nothing we can do even if your father did not come. We have to just give you guys another date so that you guys have to drive back to Venda and go serve him again. But I'm like, but he did not come. So if he is not coming, what says he's gonna come this time? Like, we literally just up and down wasting time. But then I was like, you know what? It's okay because at the end of the day, guys, like, we're so deep in here. We've spent a lot of money already and we just want justice, literally. At this point, it's so emotionally devastating because my baby sister just can't handle it emotionally. She's crying like nobody's business, which again breaks my heart because I'm like, but we've been crying, we've been abused under the hand of my father and the family watching. Now we're still getting abused and the law is literally just watching us go through all this stuff and we're being abused within the justice system. How? I thought maintenance was there to support children that don't have money. Guys, if not for me, my sister would still not have her diploma. She would still have not gone to school. She would still be sitting in Venda right now, just sitting. Because I had to take all that money to take my sister to school. All the garnishes, all the orders that the judge has been giving my father. My father has not has not been going strictly with that. Remember, as I'm saying, the first time they said he should be sending my sister 3,000, he chose to send 2. So already as defined. Now they said he should send 2,000. He's choosing to send 800. But literally, guys, Pretoria court, the security there, they know us. I remember one day I was entering, they were like, how? Can't you guys, this case is not finishing? I was like, no, it's not. They know us at this point, guys, because we are forever there. But I basically say that, okay, we were given now a new date that we're supposed to go back to court with my father. And so now I'm like, going back, because last time the subpoena was to get my stepmother here so that she can talk. It's useless because even if he comes, if my stepmother is not subpoenaed, we're coming for nothing. We're coming for another postponement. So please give us the subpoena so that we ourselves will then take it to the police station. We will serve the new date and also a subpoena for our stepmother so that they can come together and maybe we can be able to finalize this whole thing, you know. My baby sister goes there. The same officer that was talking about 800, this, that, which I have a feeling, Uri, it's too coincidental. How is it that this man spoke of 800, even though the judge gave a warrant of, he gave Uri, my father should be paying 2,000. Why is my father choosing 800? And that same number had been spoken. You know, I don't know really what's happening, but for me, I just find it to be very coincidental, you know. But anyway, that old man basically tells my sister, Uri, our case and our file has been closed. A long time ago, that's what he says. So my sister is saying, how is it closed? Like, how do you close, guys, a case that we've been going for over 2 years and there's no explanation? They claim that because my sister did not come that one day, even though we called, this file is getting closed. So now, my sister now, you know, because I was there, I was in the car, she comes down and she's crying. What's going on? Actually, I think she called me. Said, no, they're saying that our file is closed, this, that. Yo, guys, honestly, I don't even want to lie. The abuse we've been facing in Pretoria court, I cannot imagine. I literally leave the car, I run up, and I'm like, I'm going to go to him straight. So I go to him. When I get there, I'm asking him, like, okay, can we please get information? How and who actually closed the file? You know, he does not want to give me that information, but then he basically says that there's another form. Apparently, they say it's J what that you can be able to fill so that it will be now attached to the file so that it will be a continuation. Now, first of all, remember, when my sister went, after we couldn't make it that day, that one day, she was given a date. So how was a date released for a file that has been closed? That's the first question. At this point, when my sister is going there and they're telling her our file has been closed, she's holding a new date in hand. How did this second new date come out if the file has been closed? Because now the thing that we just want is a subpoena from the judge so that we can be able to subpoena our stepmother at the same time, because last time we waited for the courts to arrange so that the subpoena is served, which it never was. Okay, we thought maybe it's because it's the village, maybe we should understand, but then it's okay, you guys can't find the house. We know the house, just give us the subpoena so that we can take it there. Now the problem was that the subpoena that had been given was of a previous date which had already been expired. So a new subpoena now has to be taken out. And then they claim, no, now it's late, because remember we arrived around past 10 to 11 and we had been there for hours at this point. We were trying to locate I can't remember, I think it was the second day. No, it was the second day, because yeah, they kept on saying, go here, go there, go there. And the same man that now told us the file has been closed, we looked for him the previous day. We never saw him. They said, okay, it's fine. You should come tomorrow, blah, 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 in the morning, and then sharp. That was when we went and he was telling us, no, the file has been closed. There's this and that and that. And so now, as I'm talking to you guys, we really don't know fully what is going on, but we know that we've got a date. We have to actually go and serve my father, and you know, that document so that he can come for the next date. Then when he comes, that is when we're going to definitely have to hear from the judge, or how is it that they can now get a new subpoena so that my stepmother will then be subpoenaed so that she can be able to come to court and talk, Uri, she's my father's wife. because the stuff are under her name. Those you don't even need to trace. Those are stuff that are under her name. Their accounts, bank accounts, and everything is proven because they have checked, right? The stuff are not under my father. With my stepmother, they are still going to have to get, I think there's a certain form that they have to get so that they can just get into her accounts, which obviously they'll be able to get it now when she's subpoenaed and she comes. But everything is there, guys, because ShopRite is not going to pay. ShopRite is not going to pay e-wallet. Do you understand? So the proof is there. So at this point, we have been going up and down for months now, almost a whole year. We are waiting because my father claims Uriana is not married. He claims he's not married. The lies that old man has been telling in that court. Guys, there's so much that has literally happened. There's so much that has happened. Like, I'm trying to just summarize things that have happened for over 2 years. Over 2 years. Since then, when we started actually taking my father to court, he went on to start selling his stuff. He sold the Ranger. He sold the Hilux single cab. He has been selling, and then he bought recently, not so long, I think it's not even 3 months, if I'm not mistaken, he recently bought a twin cab. I've heard that he also bought another house. So his life is continuing. His life continues. Meanwhile, I have to, live hand to mouth at times to make sure that his kids eat and get support. You may think that my other sister who's raised mom that is home is being supported. From my knowledge, because I send money every month. I send her money every month. She does not stay at my father's house. She stays in one of the houses not even to say houses, guys. She stays in a room, right? One of the rooms, because the property that he has in Manini, he has borders, people that are renting. So he's very strategic in his money making. He just does not want to spend that money for his kids. And in actual hindsight, abuses me in the process, because now I have to make sure that I'm fending for his kids, When my sister was doing practicals, she had to stay in Tembisa, and she was paying for a room 2,000 rands. And because she's a girl, right? She has to get a place that is going to be, a little bit more secured. You can't want maybe to, obviously it goes also with what you can afford. But I have a lot of fear because, again, she's this side and everybody knows that, she's with me. So I have to make sure that at least, safety is a huge thing for me when it comes to her. So she still also had to have transport money. She had to eat data, phone, clothes and all that. And if my father is sending 2,000 rands, and at that time he wasn't even sending a cent, there's a time that he wasn't sending a cent, all those expenses were actually on me. How much do you think that has been so strenuous on me? My Kia Cerato, I had to sell my car to make sure that I cover costs for my sister. I remember the day that I had to sell my car, I broke down. I was really crying because I just felt so abused. But I had no choice, I know my mom passed young. Nobody knows how long they're going to live. And whilst I'm still here, I'm going to try everything that I can, to try and just have these kids be independent. Because it's not like they have a family. None of my father's side of the family would do anything. If ever I wasn't able to help, because they've shown us that time and time again that they wouldn't, because they've never. So the reason why you guys see me fight so hard is because I want to live a life where I'm free. I want to live a life where I'm free. I know that my sisters would be able to take care of themselves. Guys, my father has disadvantaged these kids so much. Trauma also just makes your reasoning, It's either you sink or you swim. And I think I'm a swimmer, they're not as much. So education really is the thing that I feel can literally help them. When I think of everything that my baby sister has gone through, from the time she was kicked out of the house when she was underage to the time that now, she is an adult that only got her diploma this year because of me, it breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart that my father could literally be that cruel. And to every single person, starting with the daughter of my father's cousin that has been going to court all the time, making sure that she's supporting my father. You people should be ashamed of yourselves. I know that the things that a lot of you people say, and you should really be ashamed of yourselves, because you people sit in your houses. You people sit in warmth. You people sit with your children that have clothes. You people sit and you have your children that have food. And you people talk of how I'm such a bad influence and I'm such a wrong person for trying to fight so that my mother's kids also have the same luxuries. The basic needs of them having to eat, having to clothe, having to go to school and get education. You should be ashamed of yourselves, and may God punish every single one of you. For everyone that has seen and has seen all the injustice that we have been going through. When you choose to be neutral in a situation where you see other people being oppressed, you have already chosen the side of the oppressor. Just know that. So it's not a matter of, I don't want to get involved. It's a matter of you are supporting him in what he does. Because if it was your children, you would fight, right? The same time that I'm talking about, I got kicked out for the SIM card that I wasn't the one that made the call. But the caller was never kicked out. And I'm not saying that she should have. I feel like her father really did what was right as a parent, because mistakes do happen, and being kids and being stoled, I don't believe that punishing your child with their whole entire future is fair or just. But if people are able to fight for themselves and their wives and their children, why couldn't they fight for us when they know our mother is lying in the grave? Why couldn't you people fight for us? Why? Guys, I have so much trauma. And having to go through all this and still continue to be abused within the legal system, it hurts. I get to a point where, guys, I've been so depressed. I don't know what to do. What are we supposed to do, guys? What are we supposed to do? I just, to the maintenance officers in Pretoria, we may just be another case. We might be another file that can go missing, and it's found, and there is this, there's that. But to us, please understand, this is our lives. This is the lives that we've been living. I've had to sacrifice so much just to make sure that my mother's child gets education. I've had to sacrifice so much that my mother's child get education whilst my father continues to buy new cars. This guy that reduced the judgment from 6,000 to 500 rands, he just said by his mouth, your father doesn't have money. Did he ever actually say, because there's already a judgment of 6,000, let us rather then go and check first if the money is there or not? No. What he did was he literally forced, I would say that was force. What I heard over the phone, over the audio, it was like force. For her to sign, it's either you sign for 500 or you will get nothing at all. How dare you? So at this point, guys, I'm not even going to lie. Oh man, guys, let me just put myself together. I'm sorry for that. But anyway, I just want to say that when you're a maintenance officer and you are working mostly with, it's always disadvantaged kids. Obviously, it's not going to be rich kids that are coming for maintenance, because their parents actually do right by them And if someone is going to maintenance, it means they know their parent is at a point where they can, but they are not. Please don't take that job if it's just money that you want. You will end up doing things that are unethical. I think that is a job that should be a job of passion, that you hate seeing injustice and you want to see children that are disadvantaged taken care of. I would understand if I was sitting out here and saying that my father should be buying my sister's cars or the Gucci and whatnot. But literally, we're here talking about literally the basic of the basic needs: education, food, clothing. And to everyone that is out there and they have been talking about how, just take care to school, just take care of your sisters, God will deal with him. God has not dealt with my father for years. And I'm not saying that God is not able, but I'm just simply saying that the same God also has put institutions like, maintenance courts, which if only they were doing things by the book, we wouldn't still be continuing with this type of abuse. Because if I can just give you guys the storyline, my father just goes to court to lie and go home. Nothing happens to him. He will lie. Right now, they're going to find out that he's married to my stepmother, which again, I have really questioned how the Pretoria court, because I'll speak for that one because that's where we're at, how they function or work. They have got judges. You mean to tell me that they cannot just sign off to say, this here, get access to the Home Affairs to see if my father is married? It has to go months, guys, months and months, for us to subpoena her, for her to come and say, yes, I'm married. Because remember, if they are able to go into Home Affairs and find that Vele, she's married to my father, then now they have a right to enter her bank accounts. When they enter her bank accounts, they will definitely see that the 6,000 that we're asking, he can afford plus more. And then after that, they just garnish from whichever account all those ShopRite and Pep are paying to. It would have been a very simple thing had it been that the courts are also just working and doing what they're supposed to do. And I really truly do believe that the first time that they found that my father lied, if they had locked him up for 3 months, he was not going to come back and lie again. But when you do something and the court doesn't do anything, what reason do you have for you to not continue? And if you guys have watched from part 1 to this part, you will see the pattern with my father. He's used to doing whatever he wants and no one questions him. So I feel like it's still the same thing, because he walks in whenever he wants, he walks out whenever he wants, in terms of if he doesn't want to come today, he won't come today. He won't bother coming with a letter and he won't be asked. There won't be any consequences, because, guys, imagine me spending 5,000 to go to vendor to give someone a paper that they're going to just choose to say, I'm not going to go, and that's it. I come back to court, there is nothing. They just say, oh, here's another paper. Go waste another 5,000 rands on the road and give him. I hope that the maintenance officers that have been making our lives and lives of other children out there harder, already within a hard situation. I hope so many cases follow you guys. I really do. And if you're out there and you do unethical things, I hope you experience an even bigger curse. Because I sit down and I look at it and I'm like, guys, I have really, really been strong. And I see some of you guys saying, oh, you're so strong. I'm not. I live with anxiety. And my biggest anxiety is, if anything happens to me, what will happen to my mother's children? That's my biggest anxiety. But they have a father that is still alive. I shouldn't live like that. I am so traumatized. I'm scared of having kids. You people will never understand. I love children so much with my soul, but I'm scared of having a child. Because the life that my father has made us live, at this point, as I've said, because of, with this, I couldn't like sit and tell you guys like, oh, on this date and on this day, this is what happened. I'm gonna be vlogging every day we go to court, and I will be updating you guys on this is what was said today, this is what's happening with the case, this is that and that. And I hope that this will also give strength to someone out there that is going through what we have been going through, to say that even when sometimes things are not really going our way, we do need to, find that strength and do whatever it is that we can be able to do, because at the end of the day, if not the law, then where? The family can't do anything, his friends can't do anything. And now even the justice system, I just feel so abused within the justice system, which I feel like is something that should not happen. Why is our case so difficult? You understand? And it's almost as if every turn there's something that comes. Every turn there's something that comes. Please tell me how a file will get closed because someone did not show up for one day and they even called. But no, it's closed. The day that was supposed to come, so that everything is now getting concluded because everything has been found by the investigative officers, our file goes missing. It takes the investigative officer, because they really did a great job, for her to say congratulations, I'm happy, Venda is far, we went there. And we're like, no, but it has not. The file got lost. Just like, how is the file lost when I gave it to a particular person? I didn't even send it. I gave. And then that person is like, oh, yeah, it was misplaced. Now the file is found. When I'm telling you guys right now, our file is actually kept at a particular place for safety. That's how bad things are. Why? Why? I ask myself, is it because the daughter's cousin used to work there? And maybe she knows old colleagues. I do not know. But why would it be so difficult when we're talking about someone that has a lot of money, that makes a lot of money on a monthly basis? Why? Guys, the injustice that has been happening. I'll be told, no, just leave him, and do this. But the same people that are saying that, they will never send you R1 at the end of the month. Never send you money. So it's like, oh, she has money, let her take care of her sisters. But who told you I have that money? Who? Yo, guys, before you have kids with people, please just make sure that, I don't know how you can literally see, but that I fear. I literally do. I won't lie. It's a very painful process and a very painful situation, of the fact that I will be getting ridiculed because I'm fighting for my sisters to just have basic needs, Everyone, guys, every single person, they take care of their kids. From the places I know, their relatives, whatever, their kids are well taken care of. But then what about us? Because we also didn't choose for our mother to die early. We didn't. If we could choose, she would still be here. We didn't choose. So, like, what am I supposed to do? Am I also supposed to just continue living my life and see these children suffer? What am I supposed to do? What about their future? Should they also not have a shot at getting education? But anyway, I will continue vlogging. The next court date, I'm going to make sure that I'm vlogging, and I'm showing and telling you guys everything. so that we can also just see, how is this going to end? Because at this point, guys, I'm really tired. I don't want to lie. I'm really exhausted. I am really exhausted. When I got told, like when we went to Venda and we were told that the garnish was rejected, we went to court, my father did not come, and I'm just thinking of my money that I wasted. I'm also thinking of my time. Do you understand how many days I've missed work, which I need the money for? To go and support my sister. How many? I can't count. How much have I lost? And then the depression on top of that, where emotionally you're not okay. Having to see my baby sister cry in court. And then having to drop her off at her residence so that the following day she's going to school. Sometimes she would even be writing. Has been heartbreaking, guys. The fact that she passed everything, she even got distinctions, should be proof enough that she really wanted to go to school. But everyone is looking out for themselves and their own. And in that, they fail to tell my father the truth, that what he's doing is wrong, and actually stand on business when it comes to that. It just makes me feel like me and my sisters are definitely just alone, we don't have people that can actually say that they will stand and actually like fight for us. Because even if people say, no, in private, we see that he's wrong, he's this and that, but you lot can't tell him publicly, that means nothing. Because when he's there, people, either you keep quiet, it means he feels that he's right. And then there are people that will say, no, you're doing this to embarrass your father. You don't do this, you don't do that. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Because I've tried everything. And I think now, what hurts the most is the fact that how do we continue to get abused within the justice system? I went to the court manager and asked, how does your maintenance officer drop a 6,000 rands order from a judge to 500 rands? And then on top of that, tell my sister that for accommodation, she should stay with me. Me, who he kicked out of the office from. And I was never updated. Was this guy ever disciplined? Did they ever do any investigation to see? Why would you do something that is so unjust and so unfair? What if he's doing this to other kids who do not know that they can actually go back to the judge? Because remember, a judge is going to sign whatever it is that the investigative officer and the two parties have agreed on. So if we go there and we say we want our father to just give us 200 rands, the judge will sign. If we both agree, the judge will sign to that. So why was he ever investigated? If he was investigated, how come me as the complainant? Because I was there to lay a complaint. Nothing ever happened. Like, if it happened, I was never notified, which it would be wrong because I'm the one that came to lay a complaint. But that nothing happened. What if these guys continue to do this with kids, guys? What if? That is the first thing. The second thing, in this court, files go missing some days. And then amnesia comes back and the file will be now found. Whenever subpoenas are supposed to be delivered, they are not. And from what I hear, it's like it's even there in the file, both of them. So it was never handed anywhere to say it should go and get delivered, And obviously that subpoena was very important because it was supposed to make sure that she comes and then we can finalize this whole thing. Because if he's married to my stepmother, now they don't need any, They just need to go into her accounts, take money so that my sister can be supported. If not that I sold my car, guys, my baby sister would still be sitting. She's turning, 29 this year? She's turning 28 this year. She would still not have any form of education. Not because she didn't want to go to school. Not because she didn't go to court and approach the court so that at least the court of law could help her. But because both my father and right now the courts have been failing us or failing her. So, unfortunately, she doesn't afford a lawyer. I also can't afford a lawyer for her. That's just more money that I don't have. Looking at the fact that we've been up and down and doing everything. If you're someone that is in the legal system and you would like to assist us, we can come to some sort of a deal. I can advertise your business 1,000%, and you can basically just help us, because at this point I feel like there's a lot of injustice that is happening. And my baby sister, unfortunately, she's someone that will just sit there and cry. My father knows that he's able to get one over her because she's younger, and he has traumatized her so much since she was such a young child that she has a lot of fear towards him. So it really has been a very difficult thing, because I'm not allowed in, wherein I can talk and maybe the judge can hear, but then my father will go in there and will make sure that he's over talking and whatever. Guys, I was so disappointed with the day that I was there with the judge. There was no control over like him talking. As I'm saying, he would switch language and speak Venda and threaten, or you will see in those born and stuff like that. So yeah, I really I'm at a point where I'm going through a lot. I'm really going through a lot. So yeah, if you are, a lawyer that deals with family courts, please contact me. I'll have my email address here, and or we can negotiate rate, and we can just see, because I don't know what is that I should actually do, with my sister especially, because it's a lot. It has really just been a lot. Yeah, I think that I don't know if you will even see this message, but to my sister's father, I don't want anything from you but for you to support your kids. That's all. We don't have to talk ever again. There's no love lost 1,000%. I've accepted, that I am an orphan. The day I buried my mother, I do really believe I buried my father as well. Like, my mother was my mother and my father. She was everything to me, So the day that I laid her to rest, that was the day I became an orphan. And me personally, I've accepted that, but at the end of the day, your children, you still need to be responsible for your kids. And whatever happens, I don't really care from now, as long as justice will be served. And the reason why I'm even doing this is because, guys, abuse thrives in private. He has sent lawyers after me for defamation, which I told them, let's meet in court, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to be silenced. There's no part that I've lied. And everything that I'm saying here, my sisters can back it up. Or I should say my sister, she can back it up. I didn't lie over anything. And if people have a problem with their bad character being exposed, I think maybe it's high time you just change and be a better person. And basically that is that. And it is actual financial abuse. So you are abusing me by expecting me to take care of your kids whilst you're still alive and able to can do that, and still receiving money from our mother's estate. So yeah. And again, to everyone that has been supporting my father in this nonsense, you lot deserve to be cursed. Like, your lives should literally be short. You should live miserable lives till death for the injustice that you guys have been supporting. That's all. Thank you, ninjas. And we usually go to court like once a month, or once in 2 months, or once in just 1 month and a half. And I guess the next update will be coming then. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that obviously I omitted, but that's basically just the gist of what has been happening, guys, which is just heartbreaking. I don't even know what is the procedure like for a file to just get closed. They never called us. I don't understand if they were saying that we skipped 2 days in a row and nobody even sent, any note that, we're sick or something. I would understand maybe, But to miss one day and you call to say I'm sick and they close your file, and you're the same person that was basically saying, hey, 800. And then after that, my father goes on to only pay 800 from the 2,000 that the judge had given. And my biggest question is, why is my father not getting arrested for constantly lying to the judge and also defying the judge's order? Guys, it's like we're kids, guys, playing. Meanwhile, I'm losing emotionally, financially, everything I'm losing because I still have to continue taking off his kids. I'm tired. I am tired. But anyway, I love you and just stay blessed and I will see you guys my next upload. Bye.